Hi, I'm Nancy Kerr, and I am in a reminiscent mood. I am retired, and for some reason, the first day of summer 2025 has put me into story mode, which I haven't fought, I just don't feel like I have a story. So I'm telling you the story today. I'm Nancy Kerr, often known as Barefoot Nan. I am married to Mr. Old Bay. He's gotten that name because we found a Old Bay hat, which is a seafood seasoning, in case you don't know, from the Chesapeake area of Maryland. And we found a hat. It's bright yellow. He loves bright yellow. I can find him when he's wearing it. We found it for $5 on the boardwalk in Ocean City, New Jersey, which is a few miles south of Atlantic City. It was the end of the summer. We bought the hat, and he's never worn a Phillies or Eagles hat since because people recognize it. They talk to him, they love his hat, and Miss Me, who talks to everybody and anybody, is now not getting the attention. He's getting it, and he actually likes it. He likes people noticing it and sharing it. All of that to say, welcome to summer, the first day of summer 2025. And my storytelling, whether a little bit about retirement because, yeah, again, I think we remember more. Yesterday, somebody put a list of if you're a baby boomer or maybe a Gen X, you will remember all these different things. And I love reading them because I keep coming up with things like, yeah, I forgot about that. I'm going to share a memory. If you finally made it this long, just follow me and see what else I come up with, because that'll give me an idea whether this is really worthy of pursuing. But it's actually fun unless I have to make too many edits. In the summer, my grandfather owned a trucking business. My dad was part of that business. He had his own little pickup truck. It was in our town, but he had his pickup truck. We had the car. Very unusual at that time, and people thought that we were wealthy. We were not wealthy at all. But because we had that car, that was a stereotype that indicated, ooh, I don't care about that. All I know is that we had a car and we could get up and we could get around. And when it was hot and sticky and humid in New Jersey, after a day of cranky little ones, I was 5 years older than those three. I was probably cranky too. And Mom, who was at her wit's end, would throw us in the car and we would take a ride. And we would get in that car and to be cooler, because the air conditioning was a dream. We might have had one fan. How do you spread that out with everybody? But we would get in the car and we would take the ride. And what's the first thing you do? You open the windows. Well, remember that little side window? It was so cool. It had this little switch on it, and you would go choo, 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 and all the air came toward me. Especially when I stuck my foot up there in that window and I could judge it with my foot and adjust it. And do you think I shared that with the back seat? No, heck no. They had their own windows back there. So I'd have my foot up there till even now. My foot is propped up on the side. Very ladylike, so proud of this. So we would be riding around, and eventually Mom would say, let's get lost. I don't know this road. Let's just take this road and see where it goes, and if we get lost, we get lost. Now, in southern New Jersey, the Garden State, it all looks alike, but you've got the New Jersey Turnpike. I'm sure people have heard that. What exit do you live on? We were between 2 and 3. That's by the Delaware River. And if you go an hour to the east, you have the Atlantic Ocean and Atlantic City, which is where 322 took you from Steel Pier all the way over to Pennsylvania. And in that route, it went right by our house. So how are we going to get lost, really? We would eventually get home. You got it? So we would be riding around, and if we were really good, then we would find a Tasty Freeze, and we would get out and we'd get our 10-cent, I think they were 10 cents, maybe they were less, the ice cream cone, and I'd get the chocolate swirl, vanilla and chocolate. I don't want the coated topping. That's not necessary. I liked Jimmy's. We're going to argue about that one, aren't we? The chocolate sprinkles, but I never got them. They weren't necessary. But yes, if they're chocolate and you're from the Philadelphia area, New Jersey, Delaware, Pennsylvania, we call them Jimmy's. If they're rainbow, they're sparkles. Let's argue about it. Let's not. It's just a regional thing and just helping you understand. Yep, just like soda and cola and pop. That was one I had to learn. So we'd get our ice cream. And then to finish this ride off, we were always singing Sunday school songs in the car. We would be riding in the car. We would be singing. Mom would be teaching us so many of the values of Sunday school and church. That's where I think the major lessons happened, because she had a captive audience. And then we would be looking at the clouds, deciding what they looked like. Did they look like angel wings? Several times she'd say, that's what I think the clouds will look like when Jesus comes again in the clouds. That's my foundation. I've held on to that forever. It may not be yours, but it certainly is a beautiful memory that I have taken all the way up to age 73, and it will take me into eternity. So share your memories and what you see in those clouds. So I kind of need to know if this is going to be something that I should come back and share a story with again. Not necessarily retirement, but it was the foundation of retirement, wasn't it? So you have a beautiful day, and God bless.